I always think, look at the beauty with which they approach the idea of pleasure and sex. Now, this is pure beauty. It's not just the fact that you're looking at how to have perfect sex, but the fact that they're approaching it as something gorgeous, not as something shameful and dirty.
True, very true. Okay, so let's jump into the first chapter that we have here. Like you said, the most obvious thing is positions. And Samprayogic, this chapter contains a list on how to attain pleasure during sex. And one thing, the little bit reading that we tried doing on this chapter was that there's this whole thing about the three genitalias that men and women have. There's Bail, Ghoda, Khargosh, and then there is Ghodi, Hathini, and Hirni. And this whole thing about how different sizes require different positions to attain pleasure, and there's something for every size there. Tell us more about, is there anything interesting that we should learn from this chapter?
Absolutely. So, again, it's something that we don't talk about. We always say, does size matter? And you say, no, size doesn't matter. Meaning that if a guy is very, very small, that won't matter, because it's what you do with it that matters. The Kama Sutra, of course, one, it's written at a time where he wasn't having to be politically correct. So he could say certain things. But he says, very interestingly, that the anatomy is made in a certain way. So both men and women have different physical characteristics. So men are measured with the width of the fingers, 3 fingers, 6 fingers, 9 fingers. Okay. Women, he says, have different sizes of vagina, vulva, etc., but it's a more mobile organ, so it's difficult to measure it. Take it at its most basic. He says that if you're going to have sex, it should be totally fabulous. It should be pleasurable. If it isn't, don't bother. Now, one of the first things to make sex really pleasurable is that the sexual organs of both partners should synchronize in size. If the woman is very, very large, the man is very, very small, it's not going to lead to friction. There's no pleasure. If the woman is very tight, the man is huge, it's going to lead to more pain than pleasure. So the idea is that the sizes should synchronize.